What we don't realize is that our bodies are silently and quietly negotiating for something. They are silently and quietly negotiating for help. Our bodies are like construction sites. They need stress, they need processed foods, they need lack of movement, they need, poor or bad relationships just to construct a lifestyle disease. You put all these things together, the cement, the water, the stones, the metals, the wood, labor, you will end up having a house. Just the way you put stress, you put lack of good diet, lack of movement, bad relationships, you put these things together, you will end up with a lifestyle disease. At this point of construction, it is not a big deal. Life can still move on. It is just, fatigue. People usually say no pain, no collapse, no tiredness, no constant and unexplained. Life is still moving on. But something is being constructed in our bodies, because lifestyle diseases will never begin with dramatic symptoms. Lifestyle diseases can't begin with dramatic symptoms. They don't show up like in music and play concerts. Like you go in a music concert, it is dramatic all over. You go in a play concert, it is dramatic all over. But with lifestyle diseases, they never show up dramatically. They often begin with fatigue. Your body's softest cry. Fatigue is your body's softest cry. And this fatigue, if ignored severally, if ignored for some time, for some month, for some years, your body will end up, or your body will be forced to scream. How is it going to scream? Through sickness, through, pains, through losses, through all that. Before we go on, or before we dive into today's topic about fatigue, I have a simple question. Is your body designed to get fatigue? Is your body ever designed to be fatigued? Remember, our bodies were made to be movable tools. If you look at this body, every part you realize is a joint. And these joints means movement. So, as you think of the answer, if our bodies were meant to be fatigued, think of our bodies being movable tools. So the answer is yes. The human body was designed to experience normal, temporary fatigue and tiredness. So why? This could be because of work. You are always at work, so it is normal to be fatigued. This could be because of exercises. You are always involved in physical activities, exercises, running, gym, moving. You are always involved. So if you are involved in these things, you are supposed to be tired. A little stress here and there. Our bodies were designed to undergo stress. That's normal. So if you experience these things, or you go to work, you go to the gym and hit the exercises, you experience some stress here and there, then it is normal for you to experience fatigue. This type of physiological fatigue is crucial protective mechanism and a normal part of life, signaling the need for rest, recovery, and energy conservation. It is never safe to survive on a zero battery. It is never safe to survive on a zero battery. That's why your body gets tired. For you to go and sleep, for you to go and rest, for you to go and, rejuvenate. You go and recharge. That's why fatiguing is very important to our bodies. The moment you feel tired, there is a conversation or there is a communication that, your body needs rest. Your body needs to recharge, because it is never safe to run on a lower battery or zero battery. But when fatigue turns out to be constant, then something is wrong. This is a red flag. If you always experience fatigue and it is constant, you rest but it isn't going away, you sleep, you wake up very fatigued, then it means there is something wrong. There is something wrong with your body. So today we are going to look or to discuss something very crucial about our health. We call this constant fatigue. Have you ever seen people who just get tired for no good reason? Somebody is at work, is very tired, on the desk, sleeping, at school, the kid is tired. People just get tired for no good reason. So, this tiredness could be either normal or constant, as I have just stated. So, let's look at normal tiredness versus constant tiredness or constant fatigue. Normal fatigue. What is normal fatigue? Normal fatigue, if somebody may ask you. Normal fatigue is a natural response to physical exertion, or it is a natural response to lack of sleep, or it is, a natural response to stress that resolves with rest. Normal fatigue, you will experience tiredness, but this tiredness should resolve with rest. Simply by, resting, you can recharge, you can re-energize. That is normal fatigue. But now, constant fatigue. This is persistent lack of energy and motivation, not relieved by adequate sleep, good diet, or, maybe rest. You are resting, but no, this fatigue is going on. You are having good balanced diet, but this thing is not getting out. You are maybe having enough sleep, 7, 8, 6 hours, but the fatigue is just constant. Now, this is what we call chronic fatigue. It is abnormal. It's kind of tiredness that seems to be there to stay. It will follow you at work. It will follow you at home. It will follow you at school. It is there to stay. This kind of tiredness, it seems to be there to stay. So what is the impact of this kind of tiredness? What is the impact of this tiredness that is there to stay? The impact is constant fatigue could impair your concentration and focus. This is what we call blood brain. The brain is not functioning well. Constant fatigue would affect your daily activities. You can imagine driving or riding with your blood lights, the blood windscreen. You can't see ahead. You can imagine the kind of life you can be leading in your daily activities. This leads to low life quality. The impact of constant fatigue could lead you to being, your life being very low quality life with time. So most people end up not living their lives to the fullest simply because of something they brush off daily. Let's look at very crucial thing here. Why do people easily ignore this constant fatigue? There are many reasons as to why people easily brush off fatigue. Today, we shall look at the 3 major reasons why people brush up, why people just, take it as if it is a normal thing. Number 1, normalization. We often dismiss persistent fatigue as, a normal part of a busy modern life. Been busy walking. I've been busy on the streets. I've been, So you realize that you easily brush it off. That, it is because I was busy. It's because nowadays I'm busy. That's why I get fatigue. That's why this happens to me. Or simply aging. I have gotten a year older. My years nowadays, I've lived quite long. So I get tired. The fatigue can't go away. You assume that way. So people then try to self-medicate it with caffeine, sugar, or quick fixes rather than addressing the root causes through sustainable lifestyle changes. You can see she's trying to re-energize herself from the fatigue, assuming that if she drinks it, yes, she'll get rejuvenated, she'll get energy and go on with life. This is what almost everyone is doing. The quick fixes and ignorance. Reason number 2 as to why people easily ignore fatigue is they focus on the acute. Healthcare systems, and individuals often focus on acute symptoms rather than persistent, non-specific ones like fatigue. The moment you realize that, hey, my head is thoroughly aching me, or I'm having aching joints, or my body is not feeling well. Now you focus on that and you forget about fatigue that once occurred or that has been occurring lately. So you easily brush it off. Now, what they do is they rush for painkillers to try and treat this fatigueness thing. And, as a result, most people will start depending on these things for survival just because of ignorance. Our houses will be filled with bottles and tablets because we ignored. Now, your body with time starts depending on these bottles, these tablets, for the sake of it getting the energy to move on with daily activities. That's very dangerous. Now, number three, why people easily ignore fatigue is fatigue sometimes is subjective in nature. Fatigue varies from individual to individual. What is fatigue for one person will differ with another person. Because these people live in different cultures, these people eat differently, people sleep differently, people live their lives differently. So what is fatigue for another person is not fatigue for another, because it is not easy to quantify fatigue. Hence, it is easily ignored. That's reason number 3 why fatigue is easily brushed off, because you can't quantify it. What made me fatigue is not what is making so and so fatigue, and is not what is making so and so fatigue. So now it becomes difficult for you to say, okay, now this is fatigue, this is how we should handle it, because people handle it differently. So let's look at daily habits that makes us constantly fatigued. Daily habits, just like a phone, if your body keeps draining its power for no good reason, it means the phone is being mishandled in one way or another. So let's look at 4 major ways in which you could be mishandling your body so that it is now communicating to you through constant fatigue. Number 1, You could be having poor sleeps. Sleep was designed to help us restore our bodies, was designed to repair, to help us repair and refresh our bodies and mind. That's what sleep was designed to do. You see, like this lady here, she is just but repairing, she's in the process of repairing her body. She's in the process of restoring her energy. She's in the process of, refreshing her mind through sleep. But now, poor sleep habits leads to constant fatigue, primarily by disrupting the body's natural restorative processes, impacting several key biological functions. This guy is having a poor sleep habit. I guess this loud music around him playing on, yet he is sleeping. This sleep won't help you. So you will wake up the next day feeling very much fatigued throughout the day. If your body did not repair, if your body did not restore, if your body did not refresh during sleep, then you shall generally be fatigued throughout the day and throughout your life. So if you want to stop being fatigued every other time, please observe, how do you sleep? When do you sleep? What is your sleeping hygiene? Observe those things and you might end up repairing the fatigue thing in your life. Number 2 is physical activities. Have you ever wondered why most of our grandparents used to be more energetic even at older age? This guy seems to be happy even though he's very much old. It is because most of their activities involved movement, e.g. farming. These people are in the farm. They are busy moving their joints. They are busy moving up and down. So you realize that their activities were mostly involved in movement, like herding. This guy here is running after kettles, like hunting. All these activities you see on the screen involves movement, involves physical activities. Unlike modern lives, modern man spends most of his time on chairs, very little physical activities going on. They spend hours through days, through weeks, through months in chairs with very little physical activities going on. So when the body is sedentary, its systems becomes less efficient at producing and using energy, resulting in a sensation of constant tiredness. You just feel sleepy, you just feel dizzy, you just feel whatever, because your body is dull. Your body is never involved in physical activities. Number 3 is unhealthy diet. Unhealthy diet. The human mastication system was never designed to be the beginning of energy draining of the body, but to be the doorway for energy to the body. This system here was designed to be a doorway for energy to your body. But our diet these days consists primarily of convenience, like frozen pizzas, like sugary sodas, and all the fast foods and takeouts you can ever meet. This is what our diets nowadays consist of. Most people call this efficient eating, a lifestyle that matches our high-paced jobs and long hours of work. This guy is at office, this guy is eating. He can't even just wake up and go for lunch across the road. No, he's there because he says this is more efficient. This is more, life is busy nowadays. The idea of cooking balanced meals at home seems like very luxury. To most people, Preparing a meal at home nowadays seems like a luxury. Unhealthy dietary habits contribute to constant fatigue through several physiological mechanisms, primarily by disrupting blood stability, depleting essential nutrients, and negatively impacting sleep quality and metabolism. If blood sugar stability, essential nutrients, and quality sleep are disrupted, then you will always be fatigued, no matter how much you rest. At number 4, chronic stress. Reason number 4 as to why most people can't stop being tired, can't stop being fatigued throughout their lives is chronic stress. Stress is a natural human reaction that happens to everyone. Everyone must have stress. It is something that we were created with. In fact, your body is designed to experience stress and react to it. When you experience changes or challenges, we call them stressors. Any change, you go to a new environment, you go to a new place, you go to a new job, you go to a new whatever, or any challenge you meet, we call this a stressor. So your body has to produce physical and mental responses. Just like a response unit that is released when an emergency occurs, that is stress. And that's how body was designed. So stress is like our body response units. You can imagine managing and taking care of a national response unit is very, very expensive endeavor. A lot of money is used for that sector, the response sector. So it is a big expense to our bodies too. It is a very big expense to our bodies too, dealing with chronic stress. A lot of energy and effort is needed, leading to constantly drained and tired body. The moment you are stressed, a lot of energy is supposed to be used. And a lot of energy, a lot of effort is supposed to be used to deal with this chronic stress. So this now results into your body being fatigued. I think each and everyone has ever experienced the chronic stress I'm talking of here. You realize that a lot of energy is being used by your body and you will always be drained. You will always feel like you are empty. So stress prevents restorative processes like quality sleep, proper nutrition, that are needed to alleviate fatigue. This results in states of constant pervasive tiredness that cannot be resolved simply by resting. You can realize that, as I have just said, stress itself does not cause you to be fatigued. But now the energy used during the stress process is what is a lot. The energy used is a lot. Energy and effort is very much a lot that will leave you drained. This drainedness will now result you not to having good quality sleep, or even will interfere with the nutrients intake to your body. Now you will end up being a fatigued human being. So stress just interferes with the normal reaction of the body, normal functioning of the body, and you will end up being fatigued. So what could be forming now? What could be forming? Persistent fatigue that does not improve with rest may be a symptom of underlying medical issues such as type 2 diabetes. Constant fatigue could be a signaling development of type 2 diabetes because it is linked to obesity and unhealthy diets, where fatigue is a common symptom. This is linked to obesity and unhealthy diets, where fatigue or constant fatigue is a very common symptom. Number 2, heart diseases. Constant fatigue could be signaling the development of a heart problem. This might mean that blood is not reaching to some parts at the right time, in the right quantity. Something that might be shown in your tiredness as a symptom. If the blood is not reaching at the right time in the right quantity, then you might be developing heart problems. This is shown through, or this could be shown through constant fatigue. Number 3 is thyroid disorders. Thyroid disorders. Constant fatigue could also signal the development of thyroid disorders. With insufficient thyroid hormone to regulate energy use, the body's overall pace drops, leading to a profound lack of energy and sluggishness. If the thyroid is affected, or the thyroid hormone is affected, then it means that energy of the body is not well regulated. This is often described as feeling like the energy dial has been turned all the way down. At number 4, we are looking at obesity. Carrying excess body. You can imagine carrying an excess body weight requires the body to work harder to perform daily activities, leading to increased physical fatigue and reduced stamina. You can imagine carrying all this body. This automatically will make you to be constantly tired. Doing simple tasks like, walking, climbing a stairs, or, just doing basic things is seems very difficult, being a very clear sign that you are developing a condition, a lifestyle condition, because doing basic things like walking, basic things like checking the stairs, basic things like just tying up your rope down there, if you can't do such basic things, then it means you are developing an obese, and this is shown through a symptom like constant fatigue, being constantly fatigued. My advice as a coach, you can take advice from anywhere. You can take advice from any other sources. But with me, my advice is very simple. Don't ever ignore the signs. Don't ever ignore and brush off fatigue as a sign, because ignorance is the greatest disease of mankind. Ignorance is the greatest disease of mankind. So my simplest advice is, never should you ignore the signs, but do what we call take action. At any point in your life, if you've taken all the precautions I said in this video, like the good diet, like the good rest, having enough sleep, like physical activities, like managing your stress well, and the fatigue does not go away, it is time you should take action. Don't ignore, don't forgo them. Just take action. Let us look at the right tools needed for this. What right tools do you need for you to take this? As a coach, tool number 1 I'm going to give you is change your lifestyle. It is never too late or too early to work towards the healthiest you. Never say I'm still young, or never say I'm too old. It is just time for you to, change your lifestyle for the sake of your health. So what can you change? You might be asking, what can I change for me to reduce the fatigueness, the constant fatigueness? What can I do with my life for me to reduce the constant fatigueness? Number 1, improve your sleep hygiene. Sleep be your energy restorer and not your energy drainer. Wake up like a baby. Sleep like a baby. Wake up like a baby. Let sleep be your energy restorer, not your energy drainer. Number 2 is incorporate regular physical activities. Even short walks can simply boost your circulation, elevate your mood, improve your stamina, hence an active you just simply by walking. Start by doing the simplest, the most natural, the most available thing, just walking. Wake up, walk. Before you go to sleep, walk. And you will start boosting your circulation, you'll start elevating your mood, and you'll start improving your stamina. These are the things that will help you become an active you always. Number 3, change your diet. Switch to nutritious, balanced diet and avoid junk at all cost. Always avoid junk and do a balanced, nutritious diet. At number 4, manage stress effectively. Meditation is one of the best stress relievers. Meditation is one of the best stress relievers. If you can be having time with yourself every day, at least 20 minutes, at least 10 minutes, at least 30 minutes of just simply meditating, it is one of the best cures of stress. At number 5, avoid draining relationships. Avoid draining relationships. Relationships were meant to nurture, not to drain energies. Always look for relationships that can help you nurture your energy, not drain your energies. Those are the 5 best things you can do. And something funny is that you realize that out of these 5 things, there are no big chunks of coins needed. These things are just almost free. Almost free. If you want a balanced diet, it is almost one of the cheapest. Actually, balanced diet is cheaper than the complicated junk foods. Having a walk is a very cheap thing. Rather than going to the gym, if you can't afford the gym, do the walk. If you can't afford a therapist, do the meditation. If you can't afford the whatever, all these things, if you look around, you can find them just within you, within your environment, in nature. These things are very cheap. It is just you to incorporate them in your life. At number 2, number 2 you can do about, or for you to change your fatigueness into activeness, is seek professional advice. If most of the interventions I just mentioned did not work for you, or some of them are very hard and difficult to partake. It is always difficult to incorporate a new lifestyle sometimes with some people. It's time we just have a talk. It's time you seek for me and let's have a talk. Mostly, fatigue is something that should go away naturally if you incorporated what I just said. But if you feel fatigue is not going away naturally through the means I just gave out, then please reach out and let's have a talk. Reach out and let's have a talk. Remember, the earlier you can take these first steps, the better for you and your health. Don't wait for these symptoms that are slowly crying to start screaming, because the moment they start screaming in your life, you will start experiencing the pains of the kind of diseases I just talked about that are brought in by constant fatigue, by ignoring constant fatigue, like the type 2 diabetes. Instead of waiting for you to be diagnosed of type 2 diabetes, then please just reach out and let's look at what we can do together so that you can stop this from occurring, so that you can stop heart problems from occurring, so that you can stop other conditions from developing. It is time to take the first step. Prioritize your energy, prioritize your health. Just like you are prioritizing other things like job, money, businesses, it is also important for you to prioritize your energy, because energy is everything to a healthy life, and a healthy life is a life full of every other thing, every other desires of your life. So it is important, in as much as you are prioritizing other things like job, money, business, relationships, it is time to prioritize your energy so that you are at the same time prioritizing your health. Constant fatigue is a valid symptom that demands attention. It is not an inevitable part of modern life. It's not. Don't ever say that constant fatigue is part of modern life. Never. It will never, because the body was never designed to be constantly fatigued. But it was designed, yes, to get tired, but not to be in constant fatigue. So if you ever experience constant fatigue, you have done all I have said, or all I have told you to do throughout this video, and you still experience this constant fatigue, and you are wondering what to do, you are confused of what to do, I just come to you and say, please reach out to me as your coach, and let's see how to create a solution for this, because you are not designed to be getting fatigued constantly. That's my message today. But you are designed, your body is designed to get fatigue, but not constantly. So just reach out, just WhatsApp me via this number so that we can get a solution. Just WhatsApp me via this number. Tell me your challenge, what you've tried to do so far so good, the results you've seen, or if none, if no change, please reach out and let's see where we can get started. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much for your time. This is your coach, Coach Malwa. See you at your best. See you in the next video. Thank you very much.